You pass the resume screen and reach the interview. Then the live assessment begins. The employer asks for optimization logic you haven't used in a year. Under pressure, with cortisol high and recall weakened, you freeze. This usually happens because a candidate skips calibration, the process of benchmarking their actual ability against the specific standard the role tests for. This chart illustrates the data from Dunning and Kruger's original research. It shows a correlation coefficient of negative 0.59. As performance weakens, self-ratings become more inflated, largely because people lack the skill required to see their own gaps. Relying on certifications can make this worse. A course completion proves exposure to a subject. It does not prove you can debug unfamiliar code or write efficient logic under a time limit. To fix this, you will need your target job description, a blank spreadsheet, and 3 specific testing tools to build a skill calibration map. Completing this map replaces vague sense confidence with a list of verified strengths and specific gaps you can address before the interview. Start with your target job description. Most of the bullet points are fluff designed to filter for general traits. Isolate the 3 to 5 core competencies that the employer will actually evaluate during a technical test or a case study. You cannot assess these against your own internal standard. To get an accurate result, you must find the employer's benchmark. You can find these benchmarks by reviewing Glassdoor interview logs, sample assessment questions, or public interview guides for that specific role level. For example, if the role lists intermediate SQL, your research might show they actually test for window functions and subqueries written from scratch without documentation. Once you have the benchmark, the job requirement changes from a vague phrase into a measurable, testable target. Now, immediately test those core skills against the benchmarks you uncovered. To get a real signal, you must simulate interview conditions. The test must be timed, completed in one sitting, and performed without reference materials or browser tabs open. Use code challenge platforms for technical skills, blank scratchpads for analytical case studies, or a webcam recording for your responses to behavioral questions. Do not adjust the parameters or use search engines to help you pass. Cheating the conditions only provides a false sense of readiness. The goal is not to achieve a perfect score, but to collect unvarnished evidence of how your skills perform when your recall is under stress. Take those test results and sort each skill into one of 4 categories on your calibration map. Category 1 is the strong match. You performed at or above the benchmark. These skills are your primary marketing points. Category 2 is serviceable with rough edges. You have the foundation, but specific sub-skills need work. These are your priorities for study. Category 3 is surface familiarity. You know the terminology, but you cannot execute at the required level. Do not list these as core strengths. Category 4 is a genuine gap. You do not yet meet the standard. You must close these gaps before applying for the role. While technical tests have right and wrong answers, subjective skills like analytical reasoning require external calibration. Send your recorded answers or case studies to a professional with experience in that role. Ask them to verify if your output meets the industry standard for that level. Sorting your skills into these buckets makes it clear where your profile is vulnerable, preventing you from assuming every bullet point on your resume is equally solid. With this completed skill calibration map, you have a verified view of your own standing. You can now target roles that match your current ability and focus your preparation time on the specific gaps that actually matter. This process identifies the skills likely to fail in a live environment, giving you the chance to sharpen them before a recruiter sees them. Confidence in an interview comes from knowing exactly what you can do, knowing exactly where your gaps are, and having a map to close them.